Hey guys, week 11 of the build, and I hope this will be the week I finish the hull. And for that I need to apply anti-skid on the bottom, I need to open the center case slot here on the mid seat, varnish it, another coat of paint on the sides and the bottom, and 2 coats of paint on the decks. And in between coats, while I wait for the paint to dry, I will start working on the yard and the boom. You might be wondering by now, what is this here? Well, I got a parcel from the Philippines. I have not opened this yet, as you can see, still all intact. I've had this in my house for over a week now, but I think now it's the time. So halfway through the video, we're gonna check what's in here. But first things first, let's start by applying the anti-skid on the bottom. I will then wait for maybe 40 minutes, 45 minutes, so I can turn the boat around and then start working on the sides and the bottom. And let's put this away for now. So I will mix some varnish, some marine varnish, with anti-slip pearls. And I'm gonna add 1 full spoon, like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna add another spoonful. Okay, I've added a cup full of thinner to this, and it's looking a lot better now. This is a nap type roller. Okay, and that's the anti-skid done. It's really hot in here, even with the gates open. Right, while the anti-skid dries, at least enough so that I can turn the boat upside down, let's have a look at the yard, okay? I've got 3 pieces here, and they're 22 by 45, but they're only 2.4 meters long. Okay, so I have this piece 2.4 meters in that way, and then I will have to join this one here, and that one here. Of course, not using butt joint, but scarves. So a 6-to-1 scarf, that's 22 millimeters thickness, that's 132 millimeter length scarf. That's a 6-to-1 ratio. So I need to mark 132 here, and on this one as well. And now you want to stagger them like this. Okay, you want this end close to the end of the table, and you want this to be flush all the way. I've got this line here and the same on the other side. Of course I could do it all with this, but gonna call in the big guns. Okay, the grain on this piece is not that great, to be honest. Look, see how it forms? It's really hard to plane. You can make small corrections with this, but be careful, or you might just ruin it all. you have a belt sander, you can use this as well. It's probably easier to start the scarves with the belt sander than with the electric planer. Okay, that's a bit too much. Should have stopped planing somewhere around there. It's more or less okay, apart from here. Yeah, that's good. You have to overlap a bit because I planed too much on the other side. But this will have to do. Whoa, it's warm. Spring's here, guys. I want to finish this boat. I want to go back in the water. Alright guys, if you're going to buy wood for your spars, don't buy anything that looks like this pattern, because you're going to end up with rubbish grain there. Buy something that looks like this, so you can have nice grain on the joint. But now it's done, so hopefully it won't break. And now it just needs to cure, and then I will laminate this piece with this piece. Right guys, time to open my gift. I'm not going to pretend I don't know what it is, because it actually says on the, on the box outside. But so what have we got here? We have a really simple sail bag and a really simple sails Aussie Goose sail. This was sent to me by the company. Let's go there on my wheat batch and unroll this. That looks really nice, guys. Really simple sails was set up by the designer of the Aussie Goose, Michael Storer, and his wife Edna, as a way to make quality sails in the Philippines for their own designs. They've since then expanded and they sell all over the world now, and also they make sails for other home-built boats other than Michael's designs. They've been going for 9 years now, and there we go. Really simple sails. Quick disclaimer, I do not have any affiliation with Michael Storer or Really Simple Sails. This was just a nice gesture from them. I didn't pay anything for that sail, apart from import taxes and custom fees here in Portugal. And this looks really, really nice, guys. The detail is very good. And I will show all of these details when I start rigging the boat. Michael, Edna, your stars, thanks a lot. And of course the sail bag as well, because this is going to be very important. As I plan to cart off my boat, I'm going to have to pack that sail. That is really nice. I can fit everything in here. put on top on the roof. Awesome. Thanks again, guys. Okay, the yard scarves are done now, and this is dry to the touch, and it's okay. Let's flip this over and start painting. The finish here is not perfect. I will do it again with the foam roller because that's the finish I got with it, and I'm happy. Yes, if you're very fussy about, or if you like painting, you can roll in tip like I did with the Goat Island skiff, but in the end I think this will be enough. Okay, I'll be using again the same 2-pot poly by Ample. I think I'm gonna mix whatever is left in here and see how far that takes me. And I will use the foam roller. $25. So that's thin at about 7%, I would say. And now before I start the side, I'm gonna add a cup full of thinner there. Hey guys, what a beautiful day. This is the first day of spring 2024. I've got the wood ready for the yard. The scarves cleaned up really well. As you can see, they're quite alright. But now we need to get this scarf on the opposite side from the other. Both strips are going like this, so make sure you don't get them like this, both going the same direction, or you'll end up with a warped yard. So make them opposite, okay? So if they're going like that or like that, whatever, just make them kind of symmetric. Okay, and since I want to give that hull a few more hours to dry now with the high temperatures, because that was mainly during the night that it was curing, I'm gonna glue the yard first. Okay, I mixed 120 grams of epoxy, and that was enough to pre-coat the two pieces and make this, well, glue. That's all that's left. Okay, this is now dry enough. I'm quite happy with the finish. It's not a perfect mirror-like finish, but it's good enough for what I need. So I'm going to turn this all around and open the center case slot on the mid seat. Okay, there's many ways we can open this slot, but first we need to know exactly where it is. So notice that I did not mark the halfway point between this side and that side. That's because your center case might actually be 2 or 3 millimeters to one side. It shouldn't, but it can happen, or even more. So find the two lines that mark where the center case actually is, and then find the halfway point between those two lines. And hopefully your center case is not like this or like that, because if it is, you have a bigger problem. Okay, now go back a few pages on the manual and check the inner dimension of the center case. Now we need to subtract the spacer dimension plus the bulkhead thickness. Here is just the spacer dimension. Now theoretically this should be the center case, but we're not going to take any chances. We're going to go slowly with this, okay? So we're going to drill a hole 5 millimeters away from where we think it's the end of the center case slot. And the same on this side. We have a bit of room on that side, which seems to be right on both sides. On this side, looks like there's like 2 or 3 millimeters more this way than that way. So we're going to explore this. If you have a router, this is way too easy, guys. You just drill a hole, get the routing bit there, and then the roller bearing will follow the inside of the center case, and that should be it. Okay, I think my center case might be a millimeter shifted that way, because all I can feel here now is a bit of glue. There's not much left. That side, there's still a couple of mil there. Okay, that's good enough. Okay. Now I will delete this here, because obviously not where my center case is. Now there's quite a few tools you can use to open that. The router would be the most, well, the easiest to be honest, because you just put a hole in there. As long as it's in the middle, you don't get any of the plywood or the spacers. You just bang this bit in there and then drag it until it cuts flush with the inside of the center case. Another one would be a multi-tool. This thing is great because you can cut just the thickness of the ply, and you won't risk, like the jigsaw blade, you won't risk the blade going against the sides of the center case, scratching it in the inside, which is hard to fix. So this is not bad. But the most commonly used is the jigsaw. I think most people have one of these. If you're building a boat, you better have one of these, I guess. You can use a Japanese saw as well. They're great. I don't actually own one, but I should get one of those. But let's have a go with the jigsaw. Just one thing. We're going to make sure that this blade will not hit the inside of the center case. And to do that, get the ruler on the center line. More or less, it's not really that important, but
Now, why am I putting that ruler there? If you put a jigsaw here now, it's going to be tilted that way. So if you're making this cut, tilting the jigsaw in this way means that the blade will never touch this side of the center case. Shall we have a go? Okay, as you can see, I have a lot to clean there. Unfortunately, if you do not have a router, the only thing that's left is grab a file and get rid of that. But I have a little trick so you don't scratch the inside of the center case. I've shown you this on the previous video, but just in case you didn't see it. There you go, 2 or 3 wraps of tape. That way you will never scratch the inside of the center case. Start filing. But thank God I ordered one of these. So guys, you keep filing, I'm gonna use the router. I'm gonna set this to maximum to see if the bearing goes lower than this glue runs. If not, I'll have to grab the file again. Still have to file. Look, there's some lumps here, glue, and the bearing actually goes over it, so I'm gonna have to grab the file again. This is a very cheap routing bit, and you can see, look, it's actually taking some plywood or epoxy out of the plywood there. That means the blades are going further than the face of the roller bearing. That should not happen. That should not happen. But anyway, I will have to put epoxy here on the plywood edges anyway, so I'll just coat that again. And now I'm going to put a small 4mm round here. Right, now you know the drill. Just wet those exposed edges until they stop absorbing epoxy. Okay guys, now for the first coats of paint. Nothing special, just the same as on the rest of the boat. That's 2-pot ample paint, and I've thinned it by 5%. I will use the nap roller here. I'm not looking for that mirror finish, to be honest. Actually, this should be like rough, like anti-skid, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put anti-skid here because I want to do some creative painting afterwards. Right, let's talk about my big screw up. If you remember last video, I told you that I had made a mistake and I have published a video on my Patreon page explaining what happened.
I actually told you a few more mistakes I made during the last couple of weeks, but if you didn't watch that video, I'm gonna quickly tell you what happened. I was supposed to have put 2-inch glass tape over the fillets there on the cockpit area, and I didn't. Michael Storer, the designer, actually left feedback on my Facebook page, and he said that the glass tape is mandatory in the Philippines because the quality of the plywood they use there, it's not always very good. So the top veneer will delaminate from the inner core. Even in the Philippines, that only happens after a few years of hard racing on some of the boats. If you have good plywood, that should not happen. If I could go back, would I do it? Would I put the glass tape in there? Yes, I would, because that weighs almost nothing. It takes you maybe a couple hours, and that should include sanding already. And why take a risk? Yeah, just put the glass tape in there and you'll be fine. And you might have noticed that I have finished the hull build. There's nothing else to add to this hull other than gudgeons, hiking straps, and some other bits and pieces of chandlery. And some of you might be saying, yeah, there's still one bit missing. Well, yes and no. The bit that I'm talking about is the bit that goes here, a little strip of wood to prevent water from coming in the boats. But because I will take control lines, the halyards, the downhole, the lazy jacks, yes, I'm going to use lazy jacks, all those lines will have to go to the mid seat. I don't want to put anything here before I rig the boat, because that might actually get in the way. I might end up doing something like a triangle going there behind the mast. I don't know yet, so that's why it's not there. As far as I'm concerned, the hull is finished, okay? And that is as far as the standard Goose build goes, okay? The hull. From now on, I will make some mods to other bits and pieces, like the way I rig the boat will not be as you probably will find on the Aussie Goose website. I will try to bring to this skiff all the rigging mods and the system I've got on my Got Island skiff. After sailing that for 4 seasons, I truly believe that is probably, well, for me anyway, the best way I can rig a small skiff with a balanced lug sail. I might actually change the dimensions of the yard on the Goose, but then again, guys, I will explain every time I deviate from the standards or what's in the plans or the website. I will tell you why I'm doing it, when I do it, of course. Next week I'll have to go shopping for wood to build the mast and the boom. I have not decided yet if I'm going with the hollow boom or the solid boom. I'm planning on putting a 6-to-1 at least. Hopefully I would get an 8-to-1 like I have on my Goat, but I want at least a 6-to-1 on the downhole. I am not sure if the hollow boom is stiff enough for that, because that's a lot of force there. Even the boom on my Got Island skiff, which is made of bottom halves of windsurf mast, carbon windsurf masts, that still bends when I crank that downhole, an 8-to-1 downhole, to maximum, and it's a lot of force. But I find that is very important for a balanced lug sail. You have to have that big luff tension, otherwise it won't work on the what I call the good tack. So I'm not sure that a boom, a hollow boom made with 4mm plywood, because that's what I have left, if that is going to be strong enough for an 8-to-1 downhole or even a 6-to-1. So guys, if you've tried that boom and if you have powerful downholes, give me some feedback. And Michael, if you're watching this, yep, feedback would be appreciated again. So I can make a decision what I will build next week. As for the creative painting I mentioned before, well, this is not the final paint job, of course, but I'm still trying to figure out how am I going to paint what I think I want to paint on this boat. So stay tuned for that. There you have it, guys. This part of the build is done. The next 2 weeks are going to be critical if I want to get this boat in the water mid-April. That's 3 weeks from now. So fingers crossed, and if I work a bit more than I've worked every week, I might just be able to achieve that. For now, that's all I've got time for. See you soon.